How's it going, guys? I want to talk about some Bitcoin price again today. So as you can see what's been happening in the past couple days, yesterday we saw a price drop from that 6,700 level that I was talking about the other day, all the way down to 6,300, and the price is staying sideways around that level since then. And as you can see, also we have almost broken through our 20-day moving average, and the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages that we're squeezing the price into this small little range. We're not all the way broken through, so I do expect a bit of a breakout to the downside in the next day or two. So I would expect the price in the short term to fall further just because of that. And that's also what we want to see the price be doing because of this. If we go to the weekly chart now, we can see that we are indeed on a week 9 of downtrending, and due to that small drop in the $400 worth of Bitcoin price, this candle is now red and it is 9, because yesterday, before that price drop happened, when we were at 6,700, this was actually a 1 and the candle is green. But even if the candle stayed green and then we continue to see a downtrend throughout the week, that candle should still be regarded to as a 9, because it would have remained a 1 just because of a couple dollars of difference between this candle and the fifth one. Sorry. So again, these charts aren't perfect, and you should use your best judgment when making these kind of considerations. Just because it is a couple dollars of a difference does not have any statistical significance that we would see an end of this series or anything like that. So unless this was a 1 and then we saw a price spike, then we would have broken this series of 9 downtrending. But it's also good to just see the number confirmation there, because it makes the considerations and the technical analysis easier when you actually have that 9. So we're on a week 9, expecting to finish the week off as a 9, and I do expect the price to drop further throughout the week because of the price squeeze of that moving average that I discussed earlier. We may possibly test that 5,800 limit again. And then in the next few weeks, I would hope for a bit of a dead cat bounce back maybe into the 7,000 area following this downtrend of 9. But another thing that we have to consider that makes me believe that if we do have a dead cat bounce of that kind, that it would be short-lived because of this. I want to remind everyone, whenever we go back to the monthly chart, that we are only on a month 5 of 9 of downtrending, and we will most likely see 9 months of downtrending because of this reason, because we have previously seen 3 consecutive 9-month periods of solid uptrending. That is insane, like I've said before, and we need to see some sort of pullback from all of that, and know what we have experienced so far is not enough for that. So I would expect at least a likelihood that we complete a series of 9 months downtrending here. So I would say it's very likely that we see another 3 or 4 months of downtrending in Bitcoin before we get to before we get to any kind of bull market reappearance. One thing that could possibly change that, though, that I do want to talk about sorry, I have a bit of a cough. That I do want to talk about, though, is this news of a Bitcoin ETF that I've also discussed in the previous video. Now we have the futures exchange, the CBOE, filing for a Bitcoin ETF, which is pretty likely that they will get it. Like I said before, previously we have had different companies like SolidX and Gemini, the Winklevoss twins, attempting to file for a Bitcoin ETF with the SEC back in 2017, but they were previously rejected because there just was not enough regulation in the overseas markets. So now that we, especially in the United States, that we do have more regulations such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, being declared as not being securities. It seems as if everything's coming together for this ETF to finally happen. So I think if this does get approved, if this Bitcoin ETF gets approved, that we will see an influx of new capital from very large investors in the financial market. And I do think that that is the kind of news that would put a halt to this downtrend in the bear market. As we've seen before, even at this stage, even good news such as Ethereum being declared not a security by the SEC, and Bitcoin being declared not a security, and so much of the other positive news that we've seen within the past few months, not even those news were enough to pull us out of this bear market. Whenever Ethereum was declared as not a security by the SEC, we only saw a temporary spike in price of about 15% in Ethereum for that day, and then this market just resumed. So I do think that the ETF news could possibly be positive news that's strong enough to bring those potential investors in and drive us out of this bear market and into another bull run. But as of now, as if we don't have that news, I do expect this monthly downtrend to continue in the long term. But in the short term, maybe the next couple of weeks here, after we complete this 9 of downtrending, we might see a bit of a dead cat bounce into the 7,000 range. And then going back to the daily chart, I do also expect to see this price being pulled downwards in the next few days because of the breaking of the 20-day moving average out of this 20 and 50-day moving average price squeeze that we've been experiencing for the past week or so. So again, I guess I'll just stay tuned, and any news I hear about, I will relay it on to you guys. Again, if you guys like this video, feel free to share it, like it, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. And I will just talk to you next time. Goodbye.